Hello, everybody. Joe Baganots here. Welcome back for another episode of Umineko. Last time we left off, went into the murder mystery a little bit, and yeah, game is afoot now. Officially, Andre has opened her eyes. No, the game's already started, and she's a couple steps behind, so we'll have to see if she can catch up. Also, I made a little community post about it, but in case you missed it, the reason this video is coming up a little late is my microphone is fucked. You can say, but Joe, you're talking on it right now. I can hear you. I can see the waveforms if I go into the nerdy shit and look. And you'd be correct. However, I can't hear myself. Now, that might sound strange, but the way my microphone normally works is I speak into it, and I can hear myself in my headset to let me know that I'm talking. Also, my headphone volume control no longer works. So what that means is before, I would set the game audio using the PC's controls, or there's a volume control on my keyboard that I would just use. And that would set, the base level for what you guys are hearing and what I'm hearing from the game. However, through my microphone, I can plug my headset aux cord into. There's a knob that I'm able to turn to change the output to my headphones only without changing the base audio level of my PC. But because I'm dumb and decided, you know what, I haven't updated my drivers in a long time. Let me, go, do that. Updated my keyboard drivers, updated my mouse driver. I'm like, I'll do my microphone too. Bad move, real bad move. Apparently, this has been a known issue with oh god, what do I even use? A Blue Yeti Nano for over 2 years. All the posts, all the forum posts, and all the bitching on Reddit I've seen about it has been from 2 years ago. So essentially what it did is the firmware for the microphone itself. The microphone does not have drivers. It has the base drivers it shipped with, and there's been no updates. But the firmware, so the software installed on a chip in the microphone, got updated to 4.10.10 or whatever. And essentially, what that did is they fucked something up where now the headphone volume controls the PC volume, and I'll show that. I'm going to turn the knob, and you're going to hear the game go down to nothing. Oh, that's weird. That's really weird. It's still showing on the desktop that I'm getting waveforms, but my headset isn't? Okay. That's weird. I'm gonna have to look at that post and see if that changes anything, but you wouldn't be able to see it. Actually, watch this. I'm gonna add a new capture window to display capture, sure. Display capture to make source visible, whatever. Oh, cool, you can see everything. That's not what I intended. Well, that's pointless because it's on the wrong screen. Primary monitor, there we go. Okay, now, I'm gonna have to go in and blur stuff out because I have folders on the screen that was just up with my actual name on them and stuff. But you can see, when I turn my headphone knob in the top left corner there, it's changing the entire volume thing. Interesting. That's very interesting. I never actually tested because it didn't used to do that before. But now that I'm seeing this with audio waveforms going, that's got me real confused with on OBS right here. Because according to my desktop audio, there is still audio output from the game, but when I turn it all the way down and it's muted, I can't hear anything. So I'm wondering if instead of actually disabling my headphone volume control, it's just now displays on the screen instead? Oh, that's whack. But in either case, I still can't hear myself talk, which is a pain in the ass. Thanks for nothing. Logitech, you suck. All right, moving on. Enough bitching. I'm gonna open a beer because I worked hard today. It was hot. It's smoky. If you're on the East Coast, you know, or even if you watch the news, it's a bunch of wildfires up in Quebec, and even before that, like the week before in like Nova Scotia, just blanketing us in smoke. I didn't even have to work yesterday because the smoke was so bad. They essentially called us all back in from the flight line, and like, no. They've decided that the air quality is fucking dog shit, and you can't work outside. And we're like, well, can we go home? And they're like, no. So I sat around to work for 8 hours. Love it. That's why I'm re-enlisted for 4 more years. Cheers. All right. My little personal vlog is now over. 6 minutes in. What's going on? This isn't the world of witches, but the world of humans? I was sitting on a sofa, and Amakusa was behind me. There's no need to feel confused. Featherine and Hachijo Toya are the same being. To her, the difference between the two worlds is a trivial thing. To put it in the words of that lover of theater going, it's like having a slightly different background behind the stage. So, there was no reason for me to feel hesitant.
今度は八条先生と呼べば？名前というもののなんとややこしきことかな。
But even though I have no idea what's going on, realistically, I should pause the recording now to double check in Premiere to see if my waveforms actually are working, which is exactly what I'm going to do. This game is really loud, even at the normal 50% that I normally have it at. So, I'll be back in a quick second after I check what I've already recorded to see if, like, when I'm fiddling with audio, if it actually does anything to, like, the game audio. See you in a sec. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I fixed it. Weird. I'm not going to take back what I said about Logitech. You still completely fucked my settings. But now instead of, like... It doesn't change the main PC volume. It changes my microphone volume, and it doesn't change the application volume. However, now there's, like... Okay, there is a way for me to change the application volume. I have to go into, like, my sound mixer. But now I can't, like, control my the main, like, system. Like, I might be able to go through system sounds, but it's weird. On my volume mixer, now there's 3 bars displayed on, like, the vertical bars where the arrows are. There's the bass one, which is the 0, you know, where things are muted. There's another middle mystery bar that I have no idea what it is, and then there's the bar that is the main audio level that changes when I now move my headphone volume. It's weird. It looks like I was able to closely replicate what my settings were before, kinda. Because it was in the opening when Umineko was playing its opening as the game was booting up. Desktop audio was peaking up to, like, into the orange, like the minus 10 decibel range. And now it's... Okay, it might be a little quieter than it was before. I'll boost it up a little. Yeah, we'll put it there. Yeah. And I have no idea what that is. Like I said, all my audio settings are fucked. I'm shooting from the hip now. I need to rebuild all my audio settings and find out what I'm even doing. Great, fantastic, love it. We're like 10 minutes into the video and nothing's happened. Other than me troubleshooting live. Love it. Well, live to me, recorded to you. Moving on. Oh yeah, and I also fixed the not being able to hear myself in the microphone. It turns out it was actually really simple. All I had to do was press and hold the button on the back of my microphone that switches between, like, omnidirectional record and, like, the conical in front of you. There's no like nothing in the instruction manual that tells you holding that will turn it back on. You just need to know. I fucking hate Blue Yeti. My god, Logitech sucks. Go into a different company. I'm gonna turn into, like, an audiophile and buy, like, a whole fucking $1,000 sound setup now. Just because I'm so fucking tilted at my microphone.
ここに私とあなたがいることに 何の変わりもないのに。
Okay, that's a little loud. I'm gonna turn it down a little. But even then, again, if I turn it down, I don't know, is that my headset that's too loud or the game that's too loud? I'll fix it in post. We'll fix everything in post.
あなたは私を何と呼べばいいのか迷わねばならない。そうね。フェザリーヌと呼ぶのもあなたにとっては無粋というわけだわ。
Would it?
役者にとって自分の演ずる役の名前など仮のものでしかない。
Sure. If
そ
that's
う
the
いう
route
こ
we're
とだ
going.
人の子よ。
フェザリーヌ
Don't worry about it. It's complicated. Amakusa's eyes went wide as he wondered what I was suddenly talking about. I ignored him and continued.
それであなたは私に何を見せてくれるの？
As I spoke, my eyes were caught by that heavy-looking object she held under her arm. At a glance, it looked like an encyclopedia with a fancy binding.
これをご存知ですか？
Nope. As Feathering spoke, she set a heavy object on the table. My first thought was of a grimoire. The heavy book had a mysterious, mystical feel to it, like something Mario-chan might carry around. And the most remarkable feature of it was the large, sturdy lock that held it shut. Why would someone go so far to keep people from reading a book?
手に取り裏をご覧になるといいでしょう。裏？
Yeah, that's like where the brief synopsis is. I flipped the heavy book over on my lap. And as soon as I saw it, I gave a small gasp.
エヴァ、後ろ宮エヴァ。
Oh, this is her fucking diary? Without a doubt, those words were written there in English letters.
これは何？エヴァおばさんの日記？
ひょっとしてこいつが噂の
あんた何か知ってるの？
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors
噂程
around
度です
Ava.
ね。
You need to be more specific there, bud.
エヴァ会長は秘密の日記を持っていて、それには厳重に錠前をかけていて。
Don't. Basically, if you're in any position of power, don't keep a fucking diary.
出先に行く時も必ず持って行ってたって話
It's like an
は
obscenely
護衛仲間から聞いたことがあります。
to do that.
秘密の日記。それがどうしてここに？後宮エヴァが息を引き取った病室にあったものです。
What, she fucking kept it under her pillow? The diary was hidden behind her bed. So, it remained in that room for some time after her death before it was found. It was probably someone who worked for the hospital, or else a patient or family who happened to find it. Of course, by that time, there was a huge movement dedicated to the Rokujima mystery. A locked diary found in the hospital room where Ushiromiya Eva spent her last moments would be absolutely priceless. The discoverer probably handed it over in secret to one of the witch hunters who would be able to accurately determine its worth. Luckily, the witch hunters who got their hands on this book were all noble and upright people. Not content to boorishly destroy the lock to reveal the truth, they simply satisfied themselves with the fact that the truth of that day slumbered just on the other side of this mysterious lock. Thanks to that, Ava's diary had remained undamaged to this very day.
後宮家長男クラウスの妻ナツヒは日記に記すことでそれを封印するというある種のまじないをしていたことがすでに知られています。同じことをエヴァおばさんもや
How
ってい
weird
た
to
と。
do that. What am I talking about?
可能性はありますな。その日記の蝶つがいを外すのはたとえ鍵があったとしてもかなり面倒だ。
Would it?
まるでギチギチのコルセットみたいに封印してやがる。
Amakusa was right. This wasn't a diary made to be casually opened and reminisced over. Probably safe to assume that this diary was used to forget things by writing them down and sealing them away, like Ushiromiya Natsuhi's. And on top of that, Ava brought it with her into the hospital room, then hid it behind the bed without telling anyone about it.
まさかこの日記に
the truth.
エヴァおばさんがあの日何があったのかを記している。
中を読めば全てがわかるでしょう。しかしその錠前を外す鍵の行方がわからないのです。
If only I jumped. Then I looked down at my chest. That's where my brother hung that key.
ない鍵。
どうしたんですお嬢。
You're being weird.
鍵って。
私がずっと首にかけてたでしょ。
俺は知りませんぜ。鍵なんざぶら下げてましたか。
I mean, the other way it would probably be under her, her like dress shirt, I would assume. I understood almost immediately. In the world of humans, I haven't found the key. The me with the key is on the game board in the world of witches. I mean, that vexing.
鍵を持っている私
The
に
key
戻
and
し
the
て。
locker are in two different fucking parallel dimensions, I guess. If that's how you want to view, the board, the game, in this world.
この日記を開けるわ。
Featherine lifted a finger, spun it around, and the world twisted again. And now the book is gone. When I returned to Featherine's study, the key faded back into existence, hanging from my neck. But at the same time, the diary on my lap faded out of existence.
日記はどこに？
ゲーム版のどこかに存在するだろう。そなたに与えられる鍵穴の一つである以上、必ずどこかに存在するはず。
お兄ちゃんがどこかに隠している。
Yep.
バトラがあんたとのゲームを気取る以上、それはおそらく完全な意味では隠されていないわ。
Yeah, he didn't like tie it to a rock and throw it in the ocean.
どういう意味？
バトラにと
It's possible
っ
to find
て
it.
奪われたくないキングであっても、それはゲーム版に置かれていなければ、ゲームとして成立せぬということ。
No breaking the rules of chess by, like, I don't know, taking the king off the board and putting it in your pocket. And, you can't take my king. Ha ha ha, I win by default.
つまりあの後宮家のどこかにあったということ？
あるいはすでにそなたには一度目にする機会が与えられているのかもしれぬ。詐欺師が一番最初に見せる契約書に極小の字にて、すでに悪辣なる罠が記してあるかのように。
There's no way that would hold up in court, though.
バトラがゲームマスターとしてミステリーの
the
作法とやら
microscopic
にのっ
letters.
とるなら、手がかりは必ず提示され、バトラが負ける選択肢も必ず提示されている。エンジェ、思い出しなさい。あんたはすでにバトラの世界でエヴァの日記を見ているはずよ。
In that instant, from the back of my mind, it's not the one he put in Beatrice's empty casket, was it? Drifted the very first scene of this final game. In the chapel, a book lying on the altar, a book with a lock on it. As soon as I showed interest in that book, my brother suddenly got serious and told me not to touch it. Okay, that one. Yeah, I remember. Thank you for jogging my memory.
あれがエヴァおばさんの。
That seemed like, just moments ago to you guys, but it's been like 2 weeks for me, so cut me some slack.
そうよ。後宮エヴァの日記。あの日の真実を記した一なる真実の書。
一なる真実の書。それに本当の真実が記されているの。
Well, it's what's on the tin,
だってそれ
so
はエヴァおばさんの妄言の可能性も。
赤き真実で私が断じよう。後宮エヴァの日記、一なる真実の書には、1986年
Cool.
10月4日から5日にかけての6
Vine Boom. Ah, yes, the good happy timeline. It's totally real, and don't think too hard about it. The discussions over Berncastell's reasoning game were getting heated at each of the tables. At some point, each table had started competing to see which could solve it first.
ベルンカステル、エンジェとエリカはまだ到着しないのか？
もう来てもいい頃よ。
Yep, any
ど
moment.
っちが先に到着するか賭けでもする？
エリカが遅くなるのはともかく、エンジェもずいぶん遅くなったわ
She's
ね。
side questing right
一
now.
体どこの深淵に突き落としてたやら。
Also main questing. It's complicated.
失礼ね。ちゃんとソファーに紅茶でくつ
It's
ろいでもら
it's
って
like
た
one of those
わ
games where all the side quests from the starting area railroad you. Well, not railroad you, but they all guide you towards like the next main quest.
ベルンカステル教の好む紅茶がエンジェの口に合うと良いのだがな。
確かにな。
失礼ね。誰の口にだって合うわよ。エリカなんか私の紅茶はポットの最後の一滴から
I
お
mean,
味噌の壺の底まできれいに舐めとるわよ。
I think that's just because, you know, it's your tea in that pot, and I'm going to assume miso soup pots in particular have like I don't know, buildup of like miso paste or something where it would be you know, unpleasant to lick it off the bottom.
なぜそこで味噌が出てくるのか。多い。
それにしてもエリカか。
Unless she means like a pot of like miso, like before it's in the soup, you know, where it's just the paste and she'd lick that.
あやつとは久しぶりの再会になるな。
そういえばそうだな。名探偵殿があのベルンカステルのゲームを解くのにどの程度の時間をかけるのか見ものだぜ。
あの子は
Fairly
得
quickly.
意よ。こういうゲームは多分上から下までを3度も読んだらもう答えを出しちゃうんじゃない？
だろうな。正解をご満悦で語る。あいつの顔を早く見てやりたいぜ。
Eh, she's sharp like a fucking prison shiv.
いやいや、それどころかあやつのこと。いろいろとへりくつをつけて、バトラ一家以外にも犯行は可能だ、などと言いかねんぞ。
だな。むしろ正解よりその自信たっぷりの
Kind of
へり
have
くつが
curious
聞
to
き
go
たい気
back
分だ。
and select the George Hideyoshi Eva answer for Berncastell's game to see what would happen, but maybe later. Apparently, Battler and Beato were looking forward to their reunion with Erica. They had already dueled with Erica in 2 separate games, but now there's no distinction between foes and allies. They truly wanted to welcome her to this after-show party as a friend.
それにしてもちょっと意外な感じ。
何が？
だってあんたがこんなにもあっさりエンジェを解放するなんて。
Making sure that Battler and the others couldn't see her face, Lansdelda snickered. I'm gonna throw K's in there just to prevent myself from making a flub.
そんなに意外？
意外よ。ベルンのことだから解放せず
No
に
sound
次
bites
々
being
とバト
taken
ラ
out
に
of
難問を
context
突
for
き
you.
つけていじめ抜いたり、あるいはエンジェにおかしなことを吹き込んでゲームを最後にかき回してくれる程度のことはするんじゃないかと思ってた。ベルンのことを世界で誰よりも知っているつもりでいたのに予想が外れてがっかりよ。
Yeah, what are you doing getting all soft, huh?
言うわね。でも安心して。やはりあんたは私のことを世界で一番理解しているの。
Really out here playing
間違い
fucking
ない。
27D chess.
そりゃそうよ。このラムダデルタ様は全宇宙で一番ベルンのことを愛してて大好きで理解しちゃってるんだから。
Star. Lambda Delta was flustered by Berncastell's apparently friendly words, which were very rare coming from her.
バトラス様、ご歓談中失礼いたします。エンジェ様がお帰りになりました。
おお、帰ってきたか。よかった。無事か。
No, she looks like she's gonna stab you.
雨に少し濡れてしまったようで、今熊沢がタオルを用意しております。
When Battler heard this, he breathed a sigh of relief. Then he turned to face Berncastell, showing her a forced smile as though apologizing for still suspecting her just a little. Ferguson showed no reaction and simply continued to wear a blank expression with a slight smile.
エンジェ様のお帰りでございます。
ただいま。
バトラ、エンジェが帰ったぞ。
エンジェ。
Yeah, weird of you to go sleepwalking and climbing out windows into the rain,
よかっ
but you
た。
know.
心配したぜ。
Andre stared at Battler as he dashed towards her with a relieved smile. Her expression seemed somehow indifferent.
バトラったらね、あんたのことを私が鎖か何かで岩牢に吊るしてたとでも思ったみたいよ。
You know, you've done worse with some of your stories, but...
いやいや、そこまでは思ってなかったぜ。
ベルンカステルの友人の家で紅茶をごちそうになってただけよ。なかなか美味しかったわ。
味噌とか梅干しは入ってなかったか？
入ってるわけないでしょ。
As Andre spoke bluntly, she walked right past her brother and exchanged a few whispered words with Bernicastel.
どうしたバトラ？
ああ、いや、なんでもない。
He said that his little sister, being cold to him, left him feeling forlorn. Beato would either laugh at him or scratch him. After all, Andre was a girl at a tender age. She might be in a bad mood for reasons that a man like him couldn't understand. Taking note of this, and having satisfied himself that Andre was okay, he made to walk away.
バトラ、エンジェが呼んでいるぞ。
ああ、すまん。
さっきから呼んでるわよ。
Look, he's got a lot on his mind.
無視しないで。
別に無視してたわけじゃねえぜ。なんだよお前。
Yeah, what fucking crawled up your ass and died?
さっきから機嫌が悪いぞ。
大方、ベルンカステル教に珍しい紅茶とでも偽られて、おかしなものを飲まされたせいだろう。
あんたに用はないわ。ちょっと引っ込んでて。お兄ちゃんと二人で話が
Family
したいの。
business, buzz off.
そうはいかぬぞ。わらわはこう見えても領主夫人。バトラに関してはすでにそなたよりもわらわの方が。
悪い、ベアト。少しだけ席を外してくれるか。
Cold-shouldered. But now, Battler realized that Andre's issue was more than just a slight bad mood. Well, I guess cold shoulder. It's not the right term for that, but snubbed? I don't know. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Beato puffed out her cheeks, though she wanted to say something back. However, she just let out a sigh and walked away.
これでいいか？
ええ。だってこれは私とお兄ちゃんのゲームでしょ。プレイヤーは私。ゲームマスターはお兄ちゃん。
Fucking Andre's out here metagaming, you know, no fun allowed in this game.
私たちの間にいくつ駒が入り込もうと、結局は私とお兄ちゃんとの直接の
She's
戦
gonna
いである
get
ことに
fucking
何の
sweaty,
変わりもな
you
い。
know. Break out all the exploits.
まあ、確かに俺がゲームマスターだが、別にお前と戦ってるわけじゃないぞ。
Yeah, it's just a game.
この最後のゲームは、お前を1986年の六軒島に招待するために開いたものだ。
You know, the truth being on the line is a completely separate matter.
ゲームは勝敗を決するために行われるものよ。敵と味方が揃って初めてゲームと呼ぶ。
You know, they're not played to pass the time? Have fun?
そこをごまかさないで。
お前、何を言い出すんだ。
すっかり騙されていたわ。私も最初は、お兄ちゃんが1986年のあの日に招待してくれるのだと
But
思
this
っ
is
て
all a
た。
farce. You're tricking me.
でも違う。これは全部お兄ちゃんの茶番じゃない。甘ったるい物語でお茶を濁して私を煙に巻いて、孤独な未来へ安っぽい温かさを手土産に追い返そうとしているだけじゃない。
I mean, not
私
particularly.
は最初から求めてるわ。あの日六軒島で何があったのか。それに対するお兄ちゃんの答えがこのゲーム、この甘ったるい幻想パーティー。 私の問いに対するお兄ちゃんの答えはもはや明白だわ。私は真実が知りたい。そしてお兄ちゃんに教
Yeah,
える
not
気は
whatever
ない。
this is.
エンジェいいか、そうじゃない。
Yeah, who's been whispering poison into your ears, huh?
ごまかさないで。これは私とお兄ちゃんの最後の戦いのゲームだったのよ。私はあの日の真実を求める。そしてお兄ちゃんはあの日の真実を幻想で覆い隠そうとしてる。何も変わらない。お兄ちゃんとベアトが戦ってた時と何も構図は変わらないのよ。もうすぐで私はお兄ちゃんに全てをうやむやにされたままゲーム版を追い出されるところだった。あいにくね、私はもうこのゲームは
I think you might be
私とお兄ちゃんの戦いであることを理解してるの。もうこれ以上は
charging out to
簡単に
windmills,
騙せる
but
と思わない
you do
こと
you, I
ね。
guess. Sanjay shouting tore apart the peaceful atmosphere. Family members and the residents of Fantasy gulped and watched the scene, wondering what was going on. Beato tried to run up to Battler, but he motioned for her to stay back.
何が望みなんだ。
最初からただ一つ、1986年の六軒島の真実、それだけを
You can't handle the
私は求
truth!
めてる。
真実は猫箱の中に封じられてる。猫箱の外のお前にはたどり着けない。
だからこの甘ったるい幻想で私をごまかそうと。
確かにこれは幻想だ。だが、お前にこの楽しい雰囲気を、親族の和気あいあいとした気持ちを
Yeah, you know, it's
思い
nothing
出してほし
malicious.
かった。あの日、あの島で何があったかじゃない。
But she does want to know what happened on that
お
day.
前が忘れてしまった親族会議の温かな雰囲気を思い出してほしかったんだ。
それは、
Yeah.
お兄ちゃんが押し付ける一方的な幻想よ。
Bit of a, you know, a split in interest here.
私はそれを断固拒否する。拒絶。
1986年の真実など存在しない。猫箱の中は今日だ。お前はありもしないものを求めてる。
私はもう騙されないわよ。存在するのよ、あの日の真実は。
Yeah, someone wrote it down.
それは
Crazy.
唯一の生還者によって書き残され現存している。
Balor's expression faltered for just an instant. Ajay didn't miss it. So, he was hiding it after all. Oni-chan has been hiding the book of the single truth from me.
エヴァおばさん、あんたが死んでから私は初めて感謝するわ。あんたがしっかりとあの日の真実を書き残してくれていたおかげで、私は
Yeah, sorry about
真実を
invading
知
your
る最後
privacy,
の
but we're
機
gonna
会を
like
得た。
read your diary.
エンジェちゃん聞いて。あの日記はおばさんのデタラメが書いてあるだけで何の意味も。
ごまかしは不要よ。
I mean, so it's fair. It's not like Ava is, you know, can exposit only the objective truth, omnisciently knowing everything that happens and all the factors leading up to everything. It's only her perspective.
あんたの日記にはあの日の真実が記されているとすでに赤き真実で断じられているのよ。
バカな。ゲームマスターのバトラ以外の誰が赤き
アウアウローラ、
I wonder.
正解よ。一なる真実の章は1998年という未来世界に
Future.
その中には赤き真実で保証を与えるという大役が他の誰にできるというの。
ベルンカステルは全てを教えてくれたわ。私はもうお兄ちゃんに騙されない。私が欲しいのは甘ったるい幻想じゃない、本当の真実。そしてそれをいくら1986年のお兄ちゃんが
Yep.
覆い隠そうとも
Haha, joke's on you. You're fucking dead in
1998
the
年の
future.
私
Maybe.
には暴くことができる。
Maybe. Maybe he's dead in the future. Who knows? Like I said, last game, he just kind of disappeared. He was gone. Well, I guess it was more the... Okay, was that the tea party or the mystery segment of episode 7? You know, the one where Rudolph and Kiryu killed everyone, but Battler just kind of disappeared and was never seen again.
なぜなら1986年のベアトリーチェがお兄ちゃんで、私は1998年のベアトリーチェだから。
Yeah, I'm you, but strong. Oh, we get an henshin? A cyclone rose up around Anjay. It was a golden swirl of golden butterflies, just like the golden witch Beatrice. Hey, nice.
1998年の最後の黄金の魔女。
Alright, I dig it.
エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ。過去の魔女は
That's a good outfit.
決して未来の魔女には勝てない。
Characters. Oh yeah, my playtime's so fucked up because I left my game running for like 2 days when I was trying to solve the mystery of Bergstell's game. Angers Beatrice, the witch who rules over the future in the year 1998. She stands completely on the outside of the cat box, making her entirely different from all the other witches. Just what will she find in this final game? The cyclone of gold broke apart, and as gold leaves scattered across the room, the final witch, who had inherited Beatrice's name in the future, appeared. I like her little hair baubles turn black.
あんたは黄金と無限の魔女。私は違う。黄金と真実の魔女。いかなる幻想も私を拒むことはできないわ。
Cool, you got like a cool
さ
weapon?
あ、お兄ちゃんの退屈なパーティーはもうおし
Like
まい。
Delena has their swords, and Erica and Mern kind of have like their scythe thing. What do you got?
ここからは私のパーティーになるわ。パーティーを賑わせるゲームだって用意してきた。よろしくね、エヴァおばさん。
Yeah, she's like, what? Half eating like a fucking chicken wing or whatever. And like me? Anjay snapped her fingers. She vanished among a swirl of gold butterflies. In her place, in the middle of the cyclone, a girl wearing a dress appeared, bowing modestly. Oh, weird. Don't think too hard about it.
失礼しちゃう話よね。私にだけパーティーの招待状がないなんて。
Look, definitely didn't part on good terms. Understandable.
私は六軒島の唯一の生還者。そして1986年から1998年まで黄金と無限の魔女を名乗る
pretty decent long tenure.
魔女。バトラ君の甘ったるい幻想なんて未来の世界では湖面に落ちる一粒の雪より儚いわ。さあ、楽しんでちょう
Ooh,
だい。
fun? I like fun. Is it actually fun though?
思い出してごらんなさい。あなたたちの無限の推理を。
When Ava held her hands to the heavens, light gathered there and took the form of bottle. Yes, bottle. A glass bottle with no label. There was no alcohol inside. Sealed within it was a fragment that let off a pale, sinister light.
バトラ、それはまずい。割らせてはならぬ。
Oh, too late.
さあ、ショータイム。
Woo, let's go to this fucked up fragment, huh? The bottle was smashed against the floor and smashed to pieces. As soon as the fragment within it touched the outside air, it flashed white and burst. At first, it seemed like nothing had happened. However, Ava grinned at them before becoming a cloud of butterflies and vanishing. Come to think of it, Brimstone was gone as well.
あいつ何をしやがったんだ。
おそらく未来の世界より持ち帰る
Uh-oh.
かけらだ。未来の猫箱の中身とでも言おうか。
つまりどういうことだ。
Let's not bring time into the equation with a cat box, please. At that moment, they heard a tremendous hiss. It was as though large chunks of hail had started falling everywhere. An earthquake accompanied that noise. The whole mansion groaned. Dust began to fall from the ceiling. At the same time, it seemed as though the curtain-covered window glowed with a pale light.
一体何事だというの。
キリエ、外。何よ。
Was the mansion getting lifted up into like a fucking tornado? Everyone rushed to a window in response to her voice. Of course, Battler and Beato went too. We ain't in Kansas anymore, Beato. Yeah, I would classify that as some hail. Then, they drew the curtains, looked at the scene outside, and were stunned into silence. I hope you have, like, fucking natural disaster insurance. Kinzo's words spoke for the first impression felt by all who looked out the windows.
美しいものが無害とは限らね
美しいなんとかにはトゲがあるのはお約束ね。
Though everyone found the scene beautiful, it gave them all an ominous feeling. Outside the window, countless small objects, crystal fragments glowing pale blue, lay strewn about everywhere like fallen hail. The word fantastical perfectly summed up the scene that lay before them in the glowing rose garden.
今あそこ何か動いたわ。
おい、あそこに誰かいるぜ。
I mean, I would hope not.
いや、あの光るかけらから
Oh god.
人影が生え出してる。
煉獄の七姉妹戦闘態勢。
With the words of Lucifer's, everyone finally realized that they were surrounded by danger. Ah, it's just goat moves. Okay, easy peasy. One by one, the countless fragments shook and burst, and large, dark bodies rose up from inside each. They were giants with goat heads. One after another, they appeared from the insides of broken fragments. The realization that the countless fragments lying all over the rose garden were responsible for the blue glow covering the entire area sent a wave of cold terror rushing over all present.
45全集警戒。
レーダーが真っ白です。ジャミングされて
Oh
るか。
boy, time for cluster munitions.
乱反射無数。敵数確認不能。
Even as she said this, the glowing rose garden outside the window was filling with giant goats. The fragments carrying the goats weren't just in the rose garden. They were spread everywhere across the entire island. Not just the rose garden, but the entire area around the mansion had to be half covered with goats by now.
緊急包囲されたものと申し上げたてまつる。
Yes, thank you. For stating the obvious.
どうするのバトラー。
招待状がねえ客ならお引き取りいただかねえとな。こいつら何者なんだ。ベアトのとこの従者ってわけじゃなさそうだな。
Nope. What, you think every single goat demon works for
このゲー
Beato?
ム版のコマの形を模倣しただけのことでしょう。
リーチやリーヤの眷属じゃない。もっと厄介な何かよ。
What are they? Are they the I don't know, from all the little fucking fan theories that everyone comes from, all the failed fragments or whatever.
なるほど。ボトルメッセージの具現化というわけですか。
Yeah, something like that.
ボトルメッセージベアトの違うな。
Everyone's.
こいつは
The people on the internet.
未来の住人たちの
Yeah.
妄想のかけらだ。
猫箱はそのうちに無限を秘める。その結果、箱の外の住人たちはその中身を無限に想像することが許される。その無限の妄想はこやつらの正体だ。
I'm just not gonna think too hard about it.
あのヤギたちは私たちをどうするつもりでしょう。
仲良く握手ができる雰囲気には見えへんで。
No,
あいつら
probably here for souvenirs.
私たちがこの島でどんな惨劇が繰り広げられたかを勝手にでっち上げてはルフして回る最悪の連中よ。私が真実を語らないことを面白がり、勝手に次々と惨劇を生み出して、
They give them the satisfaction actually knowing what happens.
なるほど。1986年の猫箱を勝手に妄想する。
Every little fucking theorist goes on a talk show, gives their theory about what happens, you know.
未来世界にはありとあらゆる解釈が存在します。それらは私たちが否定しない限り、全てが全て真実だと言い張り、この島に居座り続けるのです。
At least you're enjoying this.
これは厄介なことになったね。
私たちは包囲
But,
する。
I guess it's better to
絶
laugh
対
than
のピン
cry.
チというわけ
So,
だわ。
whatever helps you cope, bud.
あいつら何をしているんだ。
食べてるよ。何か食べてる。
Ew. Eating dirt? What, are they gonna get fucking botulism?
バラを食べている。
The squirming crowd of goats was busily doing something. If you look closely, you can see them sticking their heads into the rose bushes and munching away. It wasn't just the rose bushes. Light poles, the bricks of the flower beds, even the stone paving itself. They were biting all of it. It was as if they were trying to eat up the whole island.
違う。あれはただ食べてるんじゃない。
食べているんじゃなければ一体何だと。
あれは食っているのだ。侵食し
Alright.
削り取っている。このゲーム版そのものを。
ゲーム版を
You can do that?
食うだと。
Metaphysically.
未来の世界では誰もが今日の私たちは惨劇に飲み込まれたと信じてる。だから彼らは和やかに過ごす私たちの真実を認めないの。
Well, that's no good.
過去の真実、未来の真実の前に、
Yeah, we've been over that before.
無慈悲なる未来の顎と牙。我らの真実を認めず、彼らの期待する真実で侵食するのだ。
ふざけやがって。
So, what are we doing?
俺たちの真実なんだ。勝手に未来の、それもよその奴らの期待する真実に塗り替えようとするんじゃねえ。
Ooh, new effects. Cool. I would have liked if they kept like going woobly all, you know, instead of just freezing like that, but limitations of the engine. The garden outside the window is now filled with too many goats to count, all chewing away. The repulsive scene stole the words from everyone's lips. Everyone just stunned into silence. There's just no point making a fuss and letting the goats know for no reason. No point in letting them know that there was plenty of prey waiting in this bright, warm room. Prey that was softer, more satisfying to chew than roses or bricks.
あのヤギ、こっちを見てますよ。
Just stand still. Their vision's based on movement.
騒いではダメだ。こっちへ来ますさ。まずくありませんか。
Like, actually. I'm not entirely sure about goats, but a lot of like herbivores, their vision literally pretty much is based off movement. If you stand completely still, there's a good chance they won't notice you, mainly because how they see is also different. They don't have full color vision like us. It's like when you're hunting deer. You can have a bright orange vest on and like sit down at the base of a tree, and as long as you don't move, a deer will just fucking walk up right next to you and just not even know you're there. I mean, unless it smells you. They saw one of the newly born goat heads head slowly towards their window. Goat's head. Okay, I read it as goat head, like the head of a goat. No, the goat's heading towards them. Transitive. There was already a huge swarm of them in the garden, so it was no surprise that, when one of them looked around for new prey, you could see the light from this window. Its immense, eerie body slowly approached. As it grew closer, they could finally see its disturbing form clearly. The eyes blazed, and yet they were still cold, ruthless, and reptilian. The cruel fangs and jaws that could tear apart and crush anything. Any fangs that could chew through brick would hardly have a problem chewing through humans. Its massive body had to be taller than the windows themselves. And it was lumbering towards this window. Probably not. Yeah, bulletproof glass is just kind of like plastic. See, the thing about that is, I remember you having a pretty similar line before. The power of Cornelius' seal formed a shield around the glass. The goat was blown back, unable to even touch the glass because of this power. Its weight made the earth tremble. They could feel that clearly, even inside. But that tremor had also drawn the attention of the nearby goats. The pack of goats started shuffling closer, and then, realizing that they were in competition for this new prey, the pack quickly broke into a thundering charge. The window protected by Cornelius' seal would probably be safe. However, there were many windows in that great hall. For the first time, those windows became a source of terror instead of sunlight and a lovely view. Hey, Shannon, chop, you're good with shields, huh? I don't know, I guess Nazi? Go run and grab your little fucking mirror thing, I guess. Gertrude sealed another window. The goats trying to break in through that one were thrown back. But at the same time, those inside the building heard a terrible crash of a third window being shattered. Shattering fragments of glass everywhere, the massive goats broke through the window frame and entered the building. Yeah, just hit him with a cross counter, Kraus. Worked before. Those words really were coming from the goat's mouth, along with steaming, foul breath. However, didn't get a chance to say any more. Forehead, neck, shoulder, chest, side, gut, knee. The stakes of the seven sisters buried themselves in deep one after another. Man, now that I know that the steaks were fucking bought in like New York, I just can't not imagine them in my head with a fucking New York accent. Like all of them just talk like that. Like they're fucking Seinfeld characters. Several other windows shattered one after another, and goats squeezed their way in through the window frames. Their mouths were still stuffed with the bricks they had just been snacking on. Each time they chewed, made a nasty. I know ghastly, there we go. Ghastly sound, like bones being crunched. I want to say nasty, and I'm like, no, that's not it. And I know it's not gnasty.
シエスタタイム近接戦闘準備。
待ちな。ドンパチやってもさらに騒ぎで他のヤギたちを呼び寄せちまうだけだ。
2階へ逃れるのだ。
Fix bayonets?
階段を封印すれば時間も稼げよう。
I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll just eat anything. But I guess you can just put barriers up. Until they eat like the fucking load-bearing walls and the fucking building just collapses. After sniffing noisily as though scanning the smells around the room, the goats started chewing on whatever chairs, tables, or curtains were close by. The goats would chew anything to bits as long as it was near them. Oh. If the others were careful not to attract the goats' attention, they would be able to escape from this place. The humans ran on ahead up to the second floor, while the fantasy creatures, who were used to fighting, guarded the rear. The goats were completely absorbed by their all-consuming feast in the hall. Even the portion of Beatrice, who might have been called the symbol of the whole Ushimiya family, had now been brutally chewed up. Lead-based paint.
バトラー、人間は全員2階へ避難したぞ。
Actually sweet. The whole reason, you know, it was the thing like, oh, kids eating paint, haha, eating paint chips. It's because lead is a sweetener. It's not because, ooh, bright and colorful, dumb kids. It's because it tasted good.
よし、ドラノーレ、すべての階段の封印を頼む。
ガートルードたちが行います。しかし、時間稼ぎが必要です。
Alright, just have someone run a diversion. Beating sounds. Whether they could be called knocking wasn't clear. The sounds of shattering glass could be heard from all parts of the mansion.
さて皆さん、お仕事の時間でございます。
Yep, time to earn your pay.
煉獄の七姉妹、ここに。さあ行くよお前たち。今夜は食い放題だわ。シエスタタイ、外部タスク、オールスリープ、自動更新切断、データは取るな。
Always turn off
捕虜は
automatic
取るな。
updates, otherwise it fucks up your microphone settings.
第7管区アイゼルネ・ユングフラウ、領主命令により任務を開始します。
助立ちするぜ。リオン、お前は足手まとい。
Yeah, scoot.
2階へ上がったろ。
でもウィル。
Yeah, that pinchable ass is of no use here.
ここは私たちに任せ。あなたにも家族を守るという仕事がありますよ。
Survive.
わかりました。皆さん、ご無事で。
Yeah, they'll be fine. They got plot armor. The mansion was filled with sounds of bashing, crushing, smashing, and chewing. The goats in their wave of destruction were drawing steadily closer.
バトラ卿、ガートルードたちが別階段の封鎖を完了しました。残る階段はこの大階段だけです。あっちの階段はちっちゃいから早いわね。でもこの階段は大きいから時間をかけそうね。
Yeah, really good for moving furniture.
時間稼ぎが大変だわ。
Amanda spoke as though it was someone else's problem. It only took a glance at her face to see that she had no intention of lending a hand. Can't just like throw popcorn at him or something. Even so, Beato didn't scold her. This was a game between Battler and Anjay. Lambda Delta was only a theater goer who had been invited.
悪く思わないでね。
Yeah, she's got front row seats.
業務に食われたら私だって死んじゃうわ。悪いけど私は傍観者に回らせてもらうわ。
もとよりそなたは傍観者だ。助力を頼めぬのは残念だがな。
気を使ってんだろ。
Yeah, she could just dip, but she's still hanging out.
奪わないために。
そういうことにしておきましょう。
Yeah, sure. As a Voyager witch, Lambda Delta could retreat from this game board of battlers if she wanted to. In other words, she was the only one who wasn't in trouble now.
じゃあね、ベルンとあんたたちのゲーム見届けさせてもらうわ。応援してるからね。
ポップコーンを食べながら。
もちろん。
I hope it fucking gets stuck in your gum.
今日は醤油バター味にするわ。
Ugh. I mean, I guess I can see it if you don't like pre-salt your popcorn. You know, you can throw some soy sauce with the butter, but the lamb de delta vanished with a pop. It was very cute. Cute and pop. As soon as she did, a black hole opened in midair and Cap fell out of it.
バトラー、リーチ、ちょっと来てくれる？多分見た方がいいものよ。
今すぐ。
Yeah, how important is this?
ええ、行こうぞ。みんな、ここを頼むぞ。
When Gab snapped her fingers, a large hole opened up under Battler and Beato, swallowing them both. When I spat them out again, they were in an inky black sky. Both of them were floating in the night sky. They could see Rokonjima far beneath them, and as soon as they realized this, they shuddered.
これは
These look like it's crawling. It's undulating.
こりゃ海だな。
There's no longer a crowd of goats, but an entire sea of them. Just as Rokonjima poked out from the ocean, the mansion was now poking out from a sea of goats.
未来人ってすごいわ。一体この島での惨劇をどれだけ大勢が妄想したというのかし
Probably
ら。
lots. They probably made a lot of documentaries about it. You know, weird shit's gonna be aired on the the History Channel.
一掃してくれようぞ。それからあれは分かりにくい
You
と
know,
思うけど
fucking right after Ancient Aliens, you know, they're gonna air their special on the Rokonjima mystery murder.
海岸線？
船着き場が分かりやすいわ。よく見て分かる。
No.
まさか。
多分あいつら食ってやがるんだ。島ごとな。
Yummy. Gotta use minerals somehow.
さあさあおいでなさい未来のかけらたち。巨食を幻想をまやかしをすべて食らい尽くしちゃえば。
Reduce it all to its base components. Xavier yelled this to the heavens, hovering above the raging sea. Hail fell down with a pale glow. Each one was a bottle with no label and a fragment inside. They poured onto the island, smashing into bits and scattering the fragments inside them everywhere. Every now and then, one of those fragments would split in two, then split in two again. And every single one of those fragments burst and gave birth to a massive goat. To say it was like bamboo shoots springing up after rain would be a vast understatement. The goats writhed about like bubbling, boiling water in a pot. They ate away at everything they saw. They didn't just eat the harbor, but the trees and rocks, the entire coastline itself. Hundreds, thousands, no, tens of thousands of goats continued to eat. They were chewing away at every bit of Rokonjima, this final game board Battler had prepared.
悪いわねバトラ君。ミラーはこの島に惨劇を望んでいるの。エンジェだって真実を望んでる。巨食も幻想もまやかしもすべて食らい尽くしてあげるわ。
By now, Battler and the others had to admit it. The future wanted a tragedy. Even if the truth of this island had been a gentle, peaceful thing, the future didn't want that. The truth they wanted was painting over the past.
過去など儚いものよ。猫箱さえも食い破る。
なんて奴らなんだ。
Yeah, no one's gonna buy tickets to some fucking sappy, family get-together. You know, they want murder. They want to see a mystery. They want drama and thrills.
俺たちをそんなにも惨劇にぶち込みたいってのかよ。
私が見せたかったのはこれでおしまい。
Yeah, get a feel for the scope
戦
of
況
it.
の判断に役立ったのでいい
It's
んだ
real
けど
bad.
ああ、ありがとう。おかげで最悪の気分だ。
じゃあ次は書斎に行ってちょうだい。ゴールドスミスが呼んだわ。
Sure. Let's have a little chat with Gramps. Gap snapped her fingers, and another black hole swallowed them up and spat them out in the study. Hey, Ginzo. Looking real bad. What, she didn't even fucking dump you on the couch?
ガープめ落とすならベッドの上にしろというのだ。
じい様、まずいぜ。
God, fucking hitting your ass on like hard tile or like rock sucks. Like, I probably cracked my tailbone when, oh god, when was it? It must have been the 8th grade. Yeah, it was 8th grade. So I was like 14 or whatever. We were on our school field trip to Washington, D.C. It had just rained and we were on the Capitol building steps. And I fucking, like, was running down it because I'm a dumb kid. And I, like, slipped on the wet granite and fucking fell and hit my tailbone, like, right on the corner of one of the steps. Oh my god. Like, I was fucking writhing on the ground for, like, an absolute, like, couple minutes. It sucked. Like, I couldn't sit or, like, sleep. I had to sleep on, like, my stomach. I probably have, like, so many fucking little fractures on my body that, you know, where bones broke, but I just never went in to get them checked, and they healed all funny. I'm probably falling apart. Expect me to be dead by the time I'm 50.
分かってる。そしてこのまま立てこもってやり過ごすことも可能。
Man, what the fuck's the point of your big old auto lock if
ど
it's
の
not
上
gonna
たち
hold
は
off the
ある
ghosts?
程度の時間を稼ぐだろうが、それも一時だろう。
Then they'll die like heroes. They just pulled up in this mansion and fought from there. It would only be a matter of time before the swarm of goats got them. Trying to repel a few of the goats who barged into the mansion. Feel like using a cup to bail water from a boat with a hole in it.
しばらくは防戦できるだろうが、それも時間の問題よ。
There's only so much you can do.
その防戦の間に何かの手を打たなきゃな。逃げるか。どこへ。ゲーム版の外へ逃げる方法はあるのか。
The game board's you know, close circle, but it's like part of the dealio.
ゲーム版の外は我らの領地の外側よ。航海者の魔女でなければ出ることはかなわない。
Only Bernstein and Lambda-Delta could do it. However, there's no way Bernstein would help. Even Lambda-Delta had already announced that she would be an observer instead of lending a hand.
逃げ場なしか。
いや、一箇所だけある。
どこに？
Family group trip over to Kuadorian?
黄金鏡だ。
Oh, okay. Just go deeper. Peel back the layers.
なるほど。
Crawl underneath the layers into the underneath the core.
もはやそれしかあるまいか。
うん。黄金鏡はこのゲーム版の上で最も不可侵な場所だ。逃れるならそこしかあるまい。
猫箱すら食い破るやつらよ。黄金鏡かといつ食い破ってくるかわからないわね。
Well, it's
どうする？
it's an if. If they get that far, what we do know for sure is that they are eating the current board.
即決する。撤退だ。決断が遅れれば。
Alright, cool. Let's fight another day. Let's go.
全員を黄金鏡へ避難させよう。黄金鏡の扉を開くにはどうすればいい？
わらわが扉を開くだけのこと。しかし、あのヤギどもの群れが凄まじきハンマー砲の毒素を放っている。扉が開くのには時間がかかるぞ。
扉が開くまでこの主催を死守しろってんだろう。
Alright, so it's like one of those missions in strategy game where you gotta survive for a certain amount of turns and then you win. That's only win condition. We can do that.
もう一つ問題がある。黄金鏡の扉は外より二人で押さねば。
Is that when was that a rule?
外より二人？どういうことだ？
Two gotta stay. As soon as he said this, Battler realized this must be an agreement made between the three witches who are one.
普段ならばわざわざ扉を閉めることもないのだが、今回ばかりはそうもいかぬだ。
Yeah, it's like in your own house. What's the point of closing the door?
お前とベアとしかおるまいぞ。
漁師の俺とベアとは 一番無難な人選だな。
我ら二人だけなら身を守ることもなんとかなろうぞ。
Yeah, you can go all out just this once.
扉を開けてくれ。
Ichigo waved her pipe, leaving a golden trail behind as she sliced the air vertically. Then, a gap of the door to the golden land appeared. Looked like nothing more than a thin golden string hanging from the ceiling. If you looked closely, you'd see that the string was getting thicker very slowly. The door to the golden land certainly was open, but so slowly that you couldn't even tell if you weren't careful. At this rate, it would probably take quite some time before it grew big enough to let a person through.
じいさまとガープはこの
Alright,
本丸
time
の
to
守り
start fucking oiling up Nanjo so that way he can push him through.
外壁をよじ登ってくるヤギどもが現れるかもしれんしな。
心得た。我がライフルは獲物を求めておるわ。
了解よ。
Sure, Grandpa. Go
そ
get
い
him.
つらを奈落の穴に落として遊んでるわ。
Is it really that fun to drop them in the abyss? I could get it if it's like from really high up, you know, and watch them splat, but if you just drop them into nothingness, then it's like, oh, okay. A giant was sliced at an angle, split into two parts, then fell to the floor, showering it with filthy dark blood and guts.
お見事です。
次は譲ってやろう。
Countless massive goats, which had forced their way in from rooms and windows all across the mansion, wandered about in search of something to chew. Ay-ay. Several of the goats noticed the group of people huddling around the staircase and lumbered closer, but they were pulverized by merciless attacks. Been a while since we've seen that Virgilia face. Don't like it. Reneva's shield easily halted the charging of the goats, and Virgilia's magic spears pinned the giants against the walls. The Lantern Will's blades also sliced the goats effortlessly in two. The pinpoint strikes of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory could pierce the vitals and finish off any opponent, no matter how large. The Chester sisters were holding their own too. One shot from their high-caliber firearms blasted so many goats to bits that you couldn't count the kills with both hands. Cool, over penetration. Fun. It would have been more than a match for a limited number of opponents. However, they weren't just up against a crowd, but an entire sea. It was like a pebble trying to face the approaching waves of a stormy sea. Uh-oh, get toasty.
弾が切れたらただのウサギじゃない。
Yeah, it's not good when your barrel goes red hot.
情けない。
7人がかりで一度に1匹しか殺せない文鎮どもに言われたくないに。
さあ、どんどんかかってらっしゃい。私たちを退屈させないで。
The hall was filled with the corpses of massive goats. As if in fear of this sight, the goats that came in one after another from the wall, keeping their distance. Yeah, there's like, hey, what's going on here? Oh, fuck!
それを期待したいところですが。
They'll eventually get the strength and numbers mindset and just bum rush up.
それは甘いようです。
こいつら何なの？私たちを見てボソボソと喋り合ってるの？
Making a plan, they're formulated.
どうやら
Theory
会話を
crafting.
して連携できる程度の知能があるようだ。
The goats were surrounding them at a distance and whispering to each other. Then they nodded at each other as though deciding something, and the whole group stirred. What are they doing? It's almost like they're lining up in a different order.
敵陣形を変更。より突破力のある個体に最前列を譲ったものと推定。
God, the greatest theorist of all, fucking Matt Pat from Game Theories.
だからなんだ
He's
とい
taking
う
the
の？
front lines.
行くわよ、お前たち。
はい、お姉さん。
お待ちなさい。
The
相
mystery
手の
broke
様子が
Chiba to
変で
stand a
す。
chance. Lucifer took aim at one of them, going for its forehead. The other 6 sisters followed her lead, trying to pierce the vital organs all over the creature's body. However, there was no sound of pierced flesh. The 7 sisters of Purgatory were knocked back, unable to even cause the smallest wound. But that's just a theory. Oh no, I mixed them together with the fucking Burger King foot lettuce guy.
どういうこと？こいつら何か喋ってるの？
The goats kept whispering the same thing over and over as they slowly approached the 7 sisters. All of them whispered unanimously. Uh-oh! You're conceptually ineffective against them now. Yeah, from New York. Can you fucking believe it? Lucifer, she's from Queens! As they whispered curses and denied the 7 sisters' existence, the goats lumbered closer.
煉獄隊を下がって援護します。
ヤギども、教育してやる。
Well, at least a gun's a gun. You know, even if it goes from fictional to real, you still shoot bullets. The golden bows of the Chester troops mowed down the wall of goats with a shower of bright golden bullets. Some of the goats were torn to pieces, but some of them seemed completely unaffected. Then, the goats who were uninjured all whispered as one. Oh! I never even made that fucking connection. And that's why the ones, you know, if you go into the character sheet, the ones, you know, dead, because fucking Rosa killed it, the bitch. And that's why they're in, like, little fucking marching band uniforms, because they're the little fucking rabbit band. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Oh, it's a little embarrassing it took me that long to make that connection, but...
認めないということは？
魔法の攻撃が一切通用しないということだわ。
Not helping.
それじゃあ私たちの攻撃は通用しないってこと？エンドレスナイン。私たちを認めてくれなきゃ攻撃も通じない。
Well, at least it's not 100. You know, there is a chance.
そんなことが。
試してみるのが一番ですな。
Renove stepped forward, stamped on the floor twice, and the red barrier rose up in front of him. A crowd of goats dashed into it with a terrifying force. While some goats were blown away by it, several of them slipped right through the magical barrier. What's the next one? Renove, yeah. Based on Genji or fucking whatever. Yeah. He's his nobody or his somebody, whatever. I only ever played the Kingdom Hearts demo disc. That was, I got on one of those PlayStation demo discs before, you know. There's no longer any point of Virgilia trying out her own magic spear. Some of the goats must have also decided that her existence was fictional as well, and she would no longer be able to hurt them. All of these great demons, great witches, high level furniture and weapons, were overcome with fear of the crowd that surrounded them, a crowd that would not be affected by any of their attacks. Well, time for, the names. Oh god, Willard, there we go. I really want to say Wilbert every single time. I'm like, no, that's not it. And I know it's not, William. and I just lost it again, even though I just said it. I really want to say Wilbert. Yeah, her, him, and, yeah. Swords, cut, go!
最後の一発まで戦うのだ。貴様らの戦士は許可しない。
A shriek from one of the goats became a signal for the wall of them to break. They pushed forward with gaping mouths and foul breath, each trying to reach the prey first, trying to return these fictional creatures to nothingness. Julie leapt in front of and held several of the seven sisters, who had fallen on their butts, overpowered by the ferocity of the approaching goats. However, even Virgilia was a fictional creature to these goats. They could chew through her like cotton candy. Renove threw himself with oncoming goats. Even he would be chewed apart easily. Knowing this, Renove leapt forward.
魔法が通じずともこの宇宙入り熱き熱血漢である事実は揺らぎます。
Yeah, I'm still getting paid.
まして不女子を見捨てることがあるとお思いで
Gotta earn that paycheck, huh? Renove slammed his right fist into the side of the goat's face. As soon as he pulled it back, he swung his left leg into the goat's guts, then spun around into a reverse roundhouse that caught the goat again. Renove knew he could do less damage than a mosquito bite against those who didn't accept his existence. This would have meant to face an anti-magic defense of Endless Nine. The goat swung its log-like fist with a sound like a storm. Renove dodged by a hair. If he had been an instant slower, the massive arm would have crushed his head like glass.
このロボご婦人のピンチを前にはついつい奮い立ってしまう。
What a fucking show off.
私の悪い癖。
Renove grinned and tried to act tough. He had already abandoned everything. There was nothing he could do here and now, except become a shield to buy time. He had already chosen to abandon his life for this. Yeah, piddle, spuke, piddle. Puke, puke, spittle, piddle, spuke, whatever. The ghost kept coming, trying to feast on Renove. None had any pretensions of making this a one-on-one fight. Nothing mattered except chewing apart fantasy. Even just a nibble. Just a crumb of fantasy. As they gnashed those ruthless jaws and fangs, they gathered around Renove. Renove's foot hit something and he stumbled. In the same instant, several massive arms reached out and lifted him up.
シエスタ、何をしてるのよ。撃ちなさいよ。撃ってどうにかなるなら、もう撃ってるに。
Oh, might as well shoot to shoot.
皆さん、どうかお下がりを。私を夢中でかじる間は、多少は時間が稼げるでしょう。
Well, at least you're taking it in stride.
しかしこのロの上、少し小骨が多いかもしれませんぞ。
I hope they choke on it. It's like when you're eating a piece of fish and you get one of those stab at like one of the little ribs right in your fucking roof of your mouth. An elbow rammed itself to a massive, hideous jaws that were trying to chew Renove's head. Of course, the course, the goat did moan, but that did nothing but deprive just one goat of his right to the first bite of Ronove's head. Many jaws opened wide, trying to crush him and throw him down into those heartless stomachs, which would permit no heartwarming fantasies to exist. Hey! Fucking took your time. All the many arms lifting Ronove up were sliced off. Seven Sisters used this chance to fly forward and grab Ronove, dragging him back.
ミステリーとおっしゃった方はどなたですか？
ドラノールの刃は通じるの？
Well, yeah,
そうか。
it's
相手が
mystery.
ミステリーを主張するのなら
Blood-red longsword in hand, the lantern slowly walked forward. Behind her walked Will, tapping his back with his black blade.
ファンタジーじゃねえってなら聞こうじゃねえか、お前らの推理。
皆さんのご考説とても楽しみです。
Yeah, you fucking armchair little theory crafters, maybe a little classed here. A crowd of goats stepped back. Though they had been so vicious against the fantasy creatures, they stepped back when faced with this pair wielding swords of mystery.
このゲーム版で行われた密室殺人の数々、どれからでも受けて立ちましょう。
違うぜ、受けて立つのは俺らじゃね
そうでした。ミステリーとは挑むもの。なぜに私たちが受けて立たねばというのか。
え。分かってんだろうな。
You were the ones in the hot seat now. Blue Truth cut the goats apart. The Blue Truth dwelt within each and every one of the riddles in Beato's game so far. What about the locked room with the chains? First game, second Twilight. What about the locked room with the chapel? Second game, first Twilight. What about the tricked killing Najo? Third game, ninth Twilight. No idea! Small bombs. There was no end to the blades. Go get a Willard, whose name I totally didn't forget. You can't blame me though. Willard is such a fucking off-the-wall name. The countless riddles Beatrice left behind became blades, challenges that tore the goats apart. If they wanted to deny fantasy, they would have to make a counter-argument. They would have to deal with every single trick as a mystery. However, although the goat spoke words of anti-fantasy, most of them had prepared no answers for the mystery. Well, every now and then, there was a goat who did have an answer. Denied. Only 16 people.
第1条。犯人は物語当初の登場人物以外は禁ず。
Oh, that one looked a little weird. Like the round, shine on the blade kind of ended at the corner of the screen, so it wasn't entirely circular.
真犯人が複数であることを禁ず。つまんねえだろ、そんなミステリー。だから俺は思うぜ。ミステリーはもっと自由であるべきだな。
Which is why he retired. Yeah, but the story was written with them in mind, so deal with it. Oh god. That was just fucking nerds arguing a form.
やはり私たちは時代遅れということなのでしょう。
なら俺たちを納得させる推理を聞かせてみやがれ。
いざ来たれ。
The whole crowd of goats charged them. In their fangs, each of them carried theories to crush Beato's locked rooms. The bodies of these goats were different than the ones that had become corpses so easily just now. They had mystery-style answers to several locked rooms. So, it would take several blade hits to deal them a fatal wound. However, Beato had left many blades behind. All of them were exceedingly sharp. So, the pair of Inquisitors didn't think of this as a desperate battle. No more heroes too? Oh, that's desperate struggle. My apologies, mea culpa. This was mystery. More of a mystery. The goal of a mystery is to use all your imagination and knowledge to challenge each of its riddles head-on. Doing this is the greatest enjoyment of the mystery genre. So they laughed. Both Will and Delaner laughed. With smiles of admiration at the theories the goats had put everything they had into, they countered with blades from all the locked rooms. The crowd of goats was no longer an encirclement, but a great wave threatening to swallow the pair up. And yet, the pair repelled the enemy without giving an inch. They resisted firmly, cutting through the tsunami of wailing goats. It was like an ice-breaking ship knocking a path through a frozen sea. No hidden passages. Come on, guys, at least read the rules before you start giving answers. CGE. Willard, come in! Assist! Come in as a striker. Delaner hesitated for just an instant. After all, this cliched and simple theory managed to get around both Beato's locked rooms and the Delaner Decalogue. Delaner saw nothingness inside the goat's massive jaws.
And
to be a corpse, you must be dead. Surely, the jaws of that goat had closed over Delaner's head. However, the upper and lower jaw were no longer connected, so the upper half slid off to the side. Yeah, it makes it spicy. You know, leaves room for a twist. The goats didn't give the pair enough time to have a nice long chat about mystery. The next massive figure immediately enveloped them. Will's blade drew a diagonal slash across its chest, but it only cut through its clothes, leaving no wound. Delaner also hit it with her long sword, but still, it just cut its clothes without leaving a mark on its body. Maybe that this goat had a theory that didn't violate Nox or Van Dyne? Okay. In an attempt to stop the goat from saying any more, Will and Delaner hit it with blades from every locked room, as well as stakes from the 10 Commandments and the 20 Rules, but none of it had any effect. Slowly, the goat clenched its massive fists together and raised them up high. With a roar, Will slammed to the goat giant with his body. Though its massive bulk bent back slightly, Will was still leaping into a death trap. However, if he hadn't done so, he wouldn't have been able to protect the lantern. The goat grabbed Will. It lifted him up and held him high in the air. It's like a little kid showing off his favorite toy and waving it around.
聞いてやら名推理が聞けて知れんのライトの最後にふさわしいだろう
Alright, gonna hit us with a third? No! The goat's massive hands closed on Will like a vice, while the bones in Will's body creaked. Okay. Where you going with this, bud? Alright. Oh, just you outright reject. Cool. All fabricated after the fact. The island just blew up. There was nothing there. Just everyone's theory crafting on nothing, so it's pointless. Will's head was lowered, so his face couldn't be seen. However, the arm of the goat holding him was shaking. The embrace of those log-sized arms with superhuman strength was being slowly pushed away by Will's shaking arms. It's like, come on, that's the whole point.
ミステリーを語ってその言葉を口にするのかミステリーってのはな騎士道なんだよ自ら掲げた高潔なルールで挑むその姿勢を誇るもんなんだよ勝てば卑怯でいいのかどんなに気高く戦っても負ければ意味はないのか勝ち負けじゃねえだろそう戦う気高さを誇るもんだろ
The goat's arms were now spread wide, and it looked as though Will was now the one pushing it back. Will's face was covered in shadow and couldn't be seen. All dramatic.
ミステリーをする気もねえのにミステリーを語るやつがよ俺は一番気に入らねえんだよ
Will slammed his forehead into the goat's now unprotected head.
ミステリーを語るなら思考で戦う姿勢を誇れミステリーを語るなら二度と思考の停止を誇らしげに語るんじゃねえ
Will headbutted the goat over and over again. His forehead was gushing blood, torn apart by the goat's fangs, but he kept on headbutting. Van Daan knocks may be behind the times. Mystery genre does progress with time, just like the world around it. However, there's one thing that must never change. That is, pride. What is a knight proud of? Not victory. He's proud of the courage that lets him stand up to anyone without fear. Will couldn't forgive the kind of coward who would turn tail from a fight and then brag about it. Will call themselves mystery fans but have no pride were the only ones Will couldn't bear. The goat, unable to put up with this anymore, threw Will down to the floor. Then he lifted his fist again, determined to crush Will to pieces this time.
Kira, お前は俺を叩き潰すだろう。 だがそれはお前の勝利じゃねえ。お前は自らのプライドを自らの手で叩き潰すんだよ。
All the haters. Oh? A fist like a cannonball swung down towards him. It was the very last thing Will saw before he shut his eyes.
思考停止は
Only get the door open? You know, a little time to come down to help out?
このゲームじゃ敗北ってことになってるぜ。
Battler smashed his fist into the goat's mouth, and smashed teeth bounced off the ceiling.
バトラ様。思考停止ってことはミステリーであることを諦めたってことだぜ。ってことは、お前にとってはこのゲームはファンタジーってことだな。
Battler lifted up his arm. Realizing this was a signal, Lucifer and Chester 00 jumped.
思考を止めたなら、お前はもう舞台の上にいるべき役者じゃねえ。偉そうに語ってないで。
Either shit or get off the pot.
観覧席でポップコーンでも食ってろよ。
Like me! The goat lifted his fist again and swung it down at Battler like a hammer. Woo! They gained advantage again. Which means they can hurt you with pointy bits and bullets.
魔法
Fun.
攻撃可能な個体を HMD にマーキング。
ファンタジーに屈服してる子は私たちが相手してあげる。
推理があるならば我らが伺いましょう。
Yeah, just admit that it is a mystery and you're too dumb to solve it like me.
そういう輩は
Hey,
大
take
歓
you need
迎
it
だ
too.
ぜ。敬意を示して全力で受け止めてやら
おっと。しかしここはバトラ様の
Yeah,
偽
you
物
all
のようです
you fucking mucks had your time to shine. You know, now let the real heroes here.
お前ら自慢のご考説をゆっくりと拝聴しているところだがな。しかし今回はお前らのゲームじゃない。お前ら未来のかけらがどんなに否定しようとも俺は
Golden glint gathered in Battler's hand. It was so bright that the whole hall was bathed in gold. Golden butterflies flitted about, as though the whole hall was being swallowed up by the golden land. Hey, the fucking piss sword! Battler lifted, his golden longsword high.
ミステリーもファンタジー。ベアとのゲームに挑む姿勢は
Oh,
大い
yeah.
に結構。
Battler knows all the answers, so he can give you the unequivocal truth.
歓迎もする。だがな、俺のこの最後のゲームの否定だけだ。
Being Mystery of Fantasy, you can fucking knock them all down.
眠る者の尊厳を傷つける。不謹慎を知れ。
A slice of the golden longsword flooded the hall with a sea of golden light. Then, the whole group of goats filling the hall with noise turned into clouds of gold butterflies and scattered. Even so, only about 100 of them had been wiped out. Before long, the massive crowds of goats outside would probably come pouring in like seawater through a hole in the bottom of a ship. I ran out of breath.
ガートルードたちの封印はもう少しだ。すまないが、もうしばらくここを持ちこたえてくれ。
もちろんだよ、バトラ卿。
それくらいしか私たちに見せ場はないし。
Uh-huh.
お前らも少しは戦ってもいいんだぞ。
They're busy on just narrating.
だって
They're just fucking shoutcasting.
私たちは
司会者だし。
Their excessively blunt refusal to refuse strained smiles. However, that lessened the tension in the room just a bit.
バトラ様、 ここは私たちにお任せを。これ以上の侵食を許しはしません。そして私たちの誰も決してかけることはありません。
無論です。なぜなら私たちもバトラ教のゲーム版の大切な駒なのですから。
Seven Sisters of Purgatory, Chester Sister Troops, and everyone else nodded forcefully.
ああ、頼むぜ。みんな、エンジのための最後のゲーム、絶対に守るぞ。
And he's gone.
下はなんとか持ちこたえてる。
黄金鏡の扉もゆっくりと開き続けているぞ。
Can you like speed it
ま
up?
だ時間がかかるがな。
Maybe have someone run to go get some WD-40 and spray the hinges?
そういうわけだ。俺たちも時間を稼がねえとな。
The sea of goats that covered the ground below them was jostling about more and more. But now, even the sea surrounding the island had disappeared. The horizon was gone, and the chewed-up island was now floating on an eerie emptiness like space. The goats that flooded the edges of Rokunjima seemed to be spilling off the sides.
このゲーム版はもうおしまいだな。
Yep, served its purpose. Time to say
ゲ
goodbye.
ームマスターがいて駒が揃ってさえいればいつかゲーム版などまた広げられる。ゲームなど
Yeah, you can just draw it in the sand, you know, put it on a
何
piece
だ
of
ってで
paper.
きるのだからな。
そうだな。エンジは一体
Ah, being fucking angsty.
例のあれはど
そうだ。礼拝堂。礼拝堂はどうだって。
まだ残っている。
The chapel looked like a white building floating in a pitch-black sea of goats. Yes, this was strange. There was no way that those goats who consumed everything would go out of their way to avoid just the chapel.
エンジはあそこだ。
Outside the chapel was a sea of goats. Very soon, earth around the chapel would be eaten away and would probably end up floating on nothingness. The rampage of the goats, as they devoured everything and chanted the tragedy they imagined with one voice, truly made a lot of noise. However, none of that reached the inside of the chapel. Ajay finally broke the magic seal on the entrance and stepped inside. The seal is supposed to be unbreakable by anyone. However, in the face of Ajay Beatrice, Witch of Truth, the one who sought the truth and could sweep aside all forces that prevented her from finding it, but no barrier was absolute.
あれね。
A single book, tightly locked, rested on the altar. It was the hidden diary that Ushimiya Eva had written in even in her later years. The Book of the Single Truth. It was the one Featherine had shown her in the world of 1998. This time, I have the key. I gripped the golden key that sat in my pocket, the key Onichan gave me. As I approached the altar, I saw that the Book of the Single Truth was wrapped in a strange bending of the light.
ベルンカステルの言っていたゲームマスターの封印とかいうやつね。
Yeah, it's his personal notes behind his DM board, so that way the player characters can't see him jotting down notes and fucking encounters. The Book of the Single Truth was sealed in something like a crystal. It was a seal made by the Game Master's authority. It was on a different level than the breakable magic sealed on the chapel door. No matter how Anja used her power as a Witch of Truth, this couldn't be broken by anyone except the Game Master. However, this time, Battler wasn't the only Game Master.
悪いわね、お兄ちゃん。ベルンカステルだってゲームマスター。持って行って、封印を解いてもらえばいいだけの話だわ。
Anja slowly approached the altar.
エンジェは素直にそなたの言うことを聞くだろうか。
俺の妹なら
Oh, yeah.
素直には
She's gotten a little rebellious in her teenage years.
ならばどうする。
力ずくしかねえだろうぜ。
Yeah, we're still a big brother. At the moment, a fierce impact hit the pair of them. Beato was flung away, and Battler was sealed inside a massive crystal that extended up to the heavens.
くそ、なんだこりゃ。
バトラー、なんだこれは。
It was a barrier, a massive cage of crystal. Battler was shut inside a crystal cage like a tower, so large that you had to look up to see the top.
ビアト、お前はエンジを頼め。
そなたはどうする。これを一人で内側より破れるというのか。
We'll think of something.
この結界は密室結界。誰がこんなものを。
俺に密室で挑もうとするやつなんて一人しかいねえぜ。どうやら最後の客がようやく到着したようだな。
Really gotta make it complicated, huh? Well, I guess she is on Anjay's side.
行け！エンジを頼む！
Beato left Battler to handle this on his own and headed for the chapel. Battler took a deep breath and smiled daringly. You gotta pump yourself up.
待ってたぜ。退屈だったか？忘却の深淵とやらは。
The answer was a laugh. Yeah, that's right. That laugh is enough.
元気そうじゃねえか。
退屈ではありませんでした。だって信じてましたから。
Really?
だろうな。俺も信じてたぜ。
Battler flung off the cape of the territory lord. It would only get in the way, and it would be a rude way to welcome his final guest.
あの暗い深淵は次にあなたに再会できたならどんなミステリーで戦ってやろうかと思案するには実にちょうどいい場所でした。
この水晶の檻は俺たちの決闘のリングってわけか。
Cool.
逃げ場なしのチェーンデスマッチってわけだ。
Oh my god, Balor's gonna fucking throw Erica off hell in the cell.
いっつもチェーンの密室をめぐって戦ってましたね。
ならそうするか。
Fucking choke slam her through the top of the cage and she'll fall through to the mat.
まさにチェーンデスマッチってわけだ。
私に準備はありますが、あなたはどうです？
あるさ。言ったろ、俺も信じてたって。
At the same time, they both brandished their mysteries, sealing the other in a chained, locked room.
来い！フルドエリカ！
楽しませてもらいますよバトラさん。
It's gonna have been a more like, casual get-together reunion. You really gotta bring all this energy into it. At the same time, they were both sealed inside a locked room with a chain. Of course, it was easy to set and unset the chain from the inside. However, stepping into their opponent's chained room would be difficult. They were fighting to the death with two chained locked rooms at once. There could be no better locked room for a duel for this pair, who had battled with theories concerning chain locked rooms so often.
フルドエリカは自殺である、事故死である、病死である。他殺以外のあらゆる理由による死亡である。
自殺じゃないです、事故死じゃないです、病死じゃないです。ちゃんと私はあなたに殺されますよ、バトラさん。
扉の隙間よりの毒ガスによる殺害である。部屋に注水しての溺死である。部屋の空気を枯渇させての窒息死である。
毒ガスではありません、溺死ではありません、窒息死でもありません。
I mean, you can go with something other than sucking the oxygen out, like, I don't know, just making a complete, closed seal, so that way you just eventually carbon dioxide, got her?
密室殺人に毒ガス？ 歴史窒息死
おかしいだろ。面白いだろ。
Hey man, we're just throwing everything at the wall here, see what sticks.
ぐっと後ろ宮バトラは自殺である、事故死である、病死である。今度はあんたの密室を試します。
Oh no, she's gonna probe your lock, Battler. Watch out.
後ろ宮バトラは視察である。狂気はない。背中にざっくりなんてどうだ。
ぐっと古典密室はそうでなくては。
ならお前もやってみるか。
受けて立ちましょう。フルドエリカは視察である。
Is it gonna be a different method or?
背
All
中
right.
にざっくり。
Fucking mirror match.
お前の密室ぶち破ってやる。
Oh, they'll be here for a minute.
これは何の真似？
バトラは今所用で忙しい。しばしわらわがそなたの相手をし。
Yeah, you know, you guys used to hang out, you know. Ito had sealed the chapel with a locked room barrier. Unless that riddle was smashed with blue truth, Anji wouldn't be able to leave the chapel. After shrugging impatiently, Anji finally faced Bieto.
あんたと直接戦うのってこれが初めてなのか
Yeah, I
しら。
think so.
おや、そうなるか。よかろう。手合わせしよう。ただし、ここにはバトラはおら
Yeah,
ぬ。
so she can take the kitty gloves off.
わらわはバトラがおらぬ。ちょいと手加減を忘れるのでな。
あら不思議ね。
And don't go crying back to your brother that his girlfriend was mean to you.
私もそういう性分よ。
完全なる密室にてそなたを殺した。窓も扉も他すべてのいかなる方法をもっても外部との出入りはできぬ。
付き合ってあげるわ。あんたのゲーム。
All right. Ugh. Oh, certainly picking up pace there, huh? But with that, that's where we're going to end it here for today. Once again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell. I'll see you guys on next time for the next episode of Umineko. I need to go into my settings and you know, try to make sure I can match my audio levels from the first little 5-minute segment and this one, so it doesn't sound super weird. And we'll all get together again next time. Catch you later. Bye. Mwah. Oh, I need to actually stop recording, don't I?